Welcome to the next episode, everybody. Look at this. Just got her out of the marina. I like to do follow-up updates on this build. I call it the red boat just because I took the name off the side, and to be honest with you, I don't remember what the name of it is. I know, kind of funny. The reason I'm doing this video here today is we are going to talk about winterization. You've probably seen the antifreeze that I use. You can get this from Walmart, some other places. It's basically designed for boats. Someone tried to tell me in the comments on a prior video that that's not the right product to use, and it's good for 50 below for winterizing. We're also going to be using this. This is our AMSOIL gasoline stabilizer. This is going to be good since we're going to be storing the boat for a few months here. We want to make sure the gas is in good shape. And then we didn't do this on the prior video, but we're going to do the engine fogging oil. It's kind of interesting. Went over the instructions in the back here, and I was thinking when you use this, you're supposed to do it a certain way. We'll go over it. And then obviously we've got our super clean as well. We're going to get in here and hit this with some super clean. Hopefully we can clean up all this algae. I'm used to seeing zebra mussels all over the place. This year there's no zebra mussels in the lake, so that's a good thing. Take a look here, just coated with algae everywhere. You probably saw as well how we converted this boat in terms of the anodes over to magnesium, because we used to have zinc, right? And we're not running in salt water. Look how much the magnesium has deteriorated in the water. So that's a good sign. It means it's working. Overall, you can see, this is something else I wanted to follow up with you as well. I don't use any kind of screws in the transom. Ever since I rebuilt this, try to minimize any type of penetrations into the transom itself. And believe it or not, this is glued in with some, I want to say this is 3M brand, or it may be Loctite, but either way, I can tell you they both work phenomenally. And then you can see here, this isn't screwed in. I know it looks like it is. And same thing here, there's no screws. This is all 3M adhesive or Loctite. And you can see I put a little dab there as well as right there. And then right when that penetration point into the boat, that one is also got the Loctite in it. And it's been fine. The only penetration that I have in this boat is right here through the, what they call like the bowling pin. And you know, that's been sealed. On the other boat, you may have seen that in that other series, where this transom seal is, I actually ran a bead of caulking, not caulking, but this same material here, the 3M or the Loctite. I ran it on the side. I don't believe I did it on this one, but the OMC Cobra, the 400 horsepower series, that one does have adhesive on it. So that's what we're gonna do on this video. Just want to give you a quick intro. You can kind of see as we go around, you can see where the water line is. We're also going to clean up the wheels and tires. I also I've got an abundance of marine grade plywood I like to put these tires on. You can see these tires are pretty much dry rotted. I'm only going a short distance, so I don't normally worry about trying to have the newest and greatest tires, but we may want to consider putting new tires on this one because you can see here, these tires have seen better days. Anyway, let's pan out here. Let's take a look on the inside. We've got spider webs and some other miscellaneous items left over from the boating season. I know we're gonna need to put a new radio head unit in here. That one's stopped working this season here. The upholstery, still in great shape. We gotta get this thing cleaned up. That's the bottom line here. There is a lot of opportunity to clean this guy up here. Oh, I forgot about this too. We've got our AMSOIL gear lube. The reason why I've got that out, as well as the antifreeze already packed up there, is because what we need to do, and this is something that we don't really normally talk about, and we didn't talk about it in the prior video as well, is you know how this whole entire lower unit here had been sitting underwater. Well, it's possible that the prop seal that's in here, there's two of them right in here, that could have leaked. And you actually could have some water in here. And I'll show you here, it's actually on my other series with the Glastron, how there is a crack right here that they TIG welded because this lower unit cracked, likely because water stayed in here. And let's go around to the other side here so you can see. That's what we plan on doing. Is right here is the screw that drains all the oil, and we're not necessarily going to drain it all right now, but we are going to put the pan. I'll raise up the lower unit, put the pan underneath it, and we will drain out just enough to see if there's any water, because water is going to be down below. Notice how I have it nice and flat, right? The stern drive is flat, it's not at an angle, and I let it sit overnight, and we're going to see if any water settle to the bottom. And if we do see any of it, we may have to do an oil change right now before the season's over, because normally what I do is I leave the oil that's in there, and then first thing when boating season starts, I'll change the oil. But that's my plan. We got a lot to clean up here. Stay tuned on this episode. Special shout out to AMSOIL for providing the engine oil, fogging oil, the gasoline stabilizer, and then also our gear oil over here, gear lube. There you go. So without further ado, let's kick this off. All right, here we go. And like I said, our goal isn't to try to change the oil today. We're just trying to see if there's any water in the lower unit. So we're gonna slowly open this up and start taking a look at what type of fluid decides to come out here, because you never know. And let's let it out just a little bit. And good sign, yeah. It's just oil. So let's go ahead and close it back up. All right. And you can see here, the reason why I stopped immediately is you can tell the difference between oil and water. It has when it mixes with the oil, it leaves like a milky look to it. And you notice when I started draining this, it took a little bit, right, to start coming out, and water will just start pouring out if it is. So that's a good sign. That needs to be one of the first things you do as you winterize. Like I said, if you don't, you'll get a crack, typically right in here. I've seen cracks in the forward section as well, and then basically the lower unit will burst. It's just something that happens with these older stern drives after a while, just because these seals in here start to go out. And if you got any questions about how to replace the seals in here, I've got videos on how to do that. So as you're winterizing, if you do see that, just make sure you stop and go from there. Now I'm in the engine compartment at this point, and I'm going to start prepping for the engine fogger. Just went over the directions on the back of the can here. Also, I noticed my power steering was a little low, so I went and replaced a little bit of power steering. Wasn't very low, but just enough that I wanted to top it off there. Let's go ahead and remove the engine bezel, I guess you want to call it. And then this is what the directions call for when you go to fog your carburetor out. Now, I've heard some people say that you're supposed to run it, right, fog it out till it stalls the motor. And if that happens, that's fine, we'll leave it alone. But the directions in the back also mention what we just did, removing the flame arrestor or the air filter, and then with the engine running at a fast idle, which is what we're going to do as part of the winterization to get this motor hot. And then we're going to spray this into the motor upside down, and then obviously the next piece here is removing the spark plugs when the motor cools down a little bit and spraying it in there. Now with this motor, this is a 5.0. It's not that big of a deal, but if you see my other video on the 5.8s, they're almost impossible to get to all the spark plug holes, and that job could probably cost you or take you maybe like, I don't know, 24 hours or more to do all of it. So if you don't do that piece, probably not the worst thing. I have not fogged my motor on this new one here since it's been rebuilt, and I think that's been a few years now, and it's been fine. Then again, it doesn't get that cold, and the boating season doesn't end for more than maybe about 3 or 4 months here. So it's not, we don't leave these things sitting that long. Now, what we're gonna do for right now is I will put this back on just in case. I don't expect to have a backfire, but that's kind of the whole idea here, right? Is to have a flame arrestor so it doesn't cause a fire in the motor. So we are gonna put this on just temporarily, but I just took off the cover there just to make it a little bit easier, and we'll leave this on. So if there is any need to have a flame arrestor, there is a unexpected backfire, at least this will be in place. And then I'll have this ready to go. I'll just put this little tube on. I'll do that off camera, but we'll go ahead and get that ready. And then I'm going to start this motor up, get the water flowing. I need to get it where the thermostat, which in this one I believe is down here. I need to get the thermostat to open so it circulates water from the left side to the right side of the motor, gets it nice and warm, and then we'll do the winterizing. And then simultaneously, since it's just me, it's a one-man show here. Once we reach that temperature where we know the thermostat's open and it's circulating, I will open up the can back there to start the winterization. And if you have a more concern on how to do that, I'll link the video to that specific piece in the back. I want this video to be more focused on engine fogging, which is what we haven't done in the past, and this is a first for you all to see here. So I'm going to go ahead and focus on that and less on the actual coolant, the RV coolant or the marine coolant, right? That's going through the motor to winterize it. Some people ask if you need there's some, they call them petcocks down here. I've got a video on how to remove those if you're curious, if you just want to drain the water out of the block. I don't necessarily recommend that more so than winterizing. Winterizing it for sure will put the marine coolant throughout the entire motor. So that's what I'm going to recommend for you. All right, so I can feel this line is warm. This line over here is warm. And then we'll check this guy. We got that one warm, that's good. This one is cold, but if you notice, this is our intake that's coming into the boat, so that's gonna be cold. But this one is warm, this one's warm, and that's warm. And then the thermostat's right down there. I can feel here. We've got a good amount of heat. So right now, we're at about 150, so we're almost there. Most thermostats at the high end will open up at 165. So I'm gonna go ahead and crank it up just a little bit more and see if we can get the engine temperature up just a little bit higher, and then we'll start the winterization process, meaning we'll put that coolant and we'll open it up and basically shut down the water and put the coolant in its place. All right, so you can see we're almost there. Looking at the 175 mark. All right, so that's good enough. Let's go ahead and turn this guy off. Turn this guy on here. Don't forget this guy here. Take our engine oil. You can see based on the coolant that came down here is we were successful. It took about, I want to say that's about 4 gallons to completely winterize it. And basically what I was looking for was the coolant to come out the bottom, whereas before it was just water. Another thing you want to consider as well, and I said this, if you've got any animals or things of that nature, you want to make sure they don't get in contact with that antifreeze. It's definitely not good for them. But that's going to be it in terms of winterizing this boat. What we're going to do now is we are going to raise it up, and we're going to put these trailer clips on it, and then also add our stabilizer into the fuel, because we're pretty much done with this one for the season. I did it off camera, but I also did put some grease in the gimbal bearing. You definitely want to do that before you winterize it, just to make sure if there is any water in that line, you can put grease in there and just basically grease the gimbal bearing as well, because as you can see, this does sit below the water line. Here I got the trailer clips on it, and I put just enough pressure on it, not a lot, just to take any kind of load off of these rams. Because I'm going to open up that gas door and put some of this gasoline stabilizer in there. Hope you liked the video. As always, hit that subscribe button. Like the video if you thought it was helpful. If you got any questions on winterizing your boat, I'm also going to get in here and at least clean up this prop a little bit with some Super Clean. But definitely hit up Amsoil if you need any products from them. Super Clean is great. You can find them at a lot of your local stores. Any questions on that, just feel free to hit me up. But I hope you liked the video. Hit that subscribe button, and we will catch you on the next episode, everybody. Have a good one, and happy boating.